As an 18th-tier curator in the entertainment industry, I decided to retire after recording this episode of the parent-child variety show. On the variety show, the program team asked the parents what they were happiest about recently. Little Flower's mom, our Yen recently starred in the lead role of the Pay Director's movie. Really good acting. Everyone must go to see. The pop-up screen was screaming and expressing support. The netizens suddenly went silent. And the next moment the pop-up screen exploded. My father's turn. He couldn't hold back his laughter. My daughter turned back to the shore. Finally to inherit my $10 billion of family property. My dad heard that as long as I finish recording this variety show with me, I'm willing to honestly go home and be a big lady. He was so happy that he didn't sleep all night. At least he's the chairman of a $10 billion group. Can't we be a little more cool? My daughter. How many days are we going to record? My dad is very excited about his new hat. 3 or 4 days. Just bring a few sets of clothes. I waved my hand. My mood was still very fragile. I've been in the industry for 5 years. But I've never been on a hot search. I watched my dad cheerfully pack his bags. The more I saw, the more wrong. I've got 2 bottles of 18th-tier red wine. And I'm going to have to celebrate unemployment with the guys. These suits look okay. Only a few $1 million. Will not look petty? The old housekeeper, hey. Hurry to call the small tree, they will be my last air transported from abroad. High-fashion dresses are brought to stay. I hurriedly pulled my dad. My daughter wore cheap stuff on the red carpet before. It's not good for her skin. Dad, we're just going to a small variety show. It's really not worth the show. People will say we're showing off our wealth. It's not good. Just bring your cheapest and most casual clothes. And you don't have to worry about mine. I persuaded my dad to take the wine suit out of the suitcase. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. As a result, I heard him call, "Hey, old Leah. My daughter will soon be unemployed, Homa. When I want to do a super big banquet to her. You ask your daughter young people now like what? My daughter dislike me wearing a suit is not appropriate." Me, did I ever say anything like that? There is a huge rich father really very bitter. I year film pay only 2 or 3 million. But not as much as my father to my card punch pocket money fraction. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. Dreams who love to chase who chase go. Sister to go home to lie flat. Because I am a control group. So the program group did not reimburse my travel expenses. My dad ordered a private jet to take us to the villa where the filming took place. Before going in, I repeatedly urged my dad. Unless there are special circumstances, you can't expose your vest. You're just an 18th-line paste curry dad. My dad made a gesture to shut his mouth. Besides me and my dad, there were 3 other groups of families. My control was Yen, who brought her mom. I'd met Yen in the entertainment industry a few years before. And she was new to the scene like me. But she quickly soared. I met her again on the red carpet, where she had created a rich persona for herself. By the way, she also sent out a circular to pull a stomp over me. An 18-year-old. The show had just started, and we juniors were required to introduce ourselves to each other. Nastya, a popular young flower, smiled coyly, "Take care of me in the coming days. My mom's hairy crabs are super delicious. Let's taste them." After she finished, she took out a few delicate boxes and distributed them to us. The other actress did the same. Her dad shared specialties from her hometown. Yen is a bit more pretentious. But the Keefans love to see her like this and buy in massively. You can call me Yen. My mom is very sweet and nice. I can cook. I can cook for you in the next few days. Abi Rna. Where's your dad? I looked at my dad who was sitting there looking like he was in dire need of praise and was silent for a while. Do I have to say that my dad is good at making money? Giving villas to his subordinates? Or making PPTS? The pop-up screen was full of drama. Abi Rna didn't buy her dad a watch or anything? In comparison, her dad is so shabby. I've heard that actors and actresses make a lot of money. So I'm afraid she's not using all her money for herself. So selfish. No comparison. No harm done. Pot YN is still so sweet and gentle. Our baby Nastya is super cute and gentle too. My dad loves to plant flowers and grass. We have a small yard at home, and he loves to do that. That's a good way to put it. Just when I was satisfied with my answer, Pot YN looked at me sympathetically. A BRNA. Is your family condition not very good? What's the matter? Is it that you can immediately give me a few $1,000,000 to spend when I say it's not good? Because of my silence. Pot YN seems to confirm this matter. Want to pull me close. For no other reason than to create a persona for herself. And my dad, being looked at with sympathetic eyes, couldn't hold back even if he wanted to. Daughter, why don't you tell everyone that we have a big garden? My dad was hinting at me. Uncle, a kind of small yard in the countryside where you grow flowers and plants is not considered a garden. Turn around and let a BRNA take you to my house as a guest. The villa I bought for my mom is quite suitable for retirement. And I look at my uncle with special affection. I didn't wait for me to say anything. But Pot YN couldn't wait to show off. My dad's expression was as embarrassed as if he had eaten shang. These days, there was actually a junior who said that his thousands of square feet of garden was a small rural yard. I felt like he could call off the program in the next second and just acquire the place. I hurriedly smoothed my dad's hair and gave him a take-it-easy look. I then spoke. Pot YN. My mom is still here. She is just traveling abroad with my aunt and the girls. Pot YN's mom instantly changed her face when she said this. You little girl. How can you talk so harshly? I said. I'm sorry, Auntie. But I remember Pot YN's dad is watching the show at home. So calling my dad to be a guest at your house isn't setting you up. I thought she was going to be my stepmom. A BRNA. Are you crazy? What nonsense. Pot YN's eyes widened. I covered my mouth in mock panic. That's not what it means. Is it hard to set up a persona? The program did explain that I should be the control group. But what they said was that I should just go against Pot YN. That's not true. Who wouldn't be the evil female counterpart? I didn't. I just really sympathize with your dad. Unlike you who is so ungrateful. Pot YN was furious. As if I became an unfilial daughter. She has a knack for ambiguity. This BRNA is sick in the head. Isn't she? Pot YN is so kind. She has a dirty mind. Pure passerby. A BRNA didn't say her family is poor. Pot YN is really embarrassing. Honestly. The family is really poor. If people did not want to mention. Pot YN so on the program directly said. Change me, I can slap her too. Northeast people cannot tolerate a little. Or we ask a baby obedient da. We do not get involved no. Say I'm not filial? I looked at my father quite agree with the look. People silly. While the program team inserted a commercial. I hurriedly asked the next dad. She said I am not filial. You do not angry? Am I not your own daughter? My dad snorted. If you were my own daughter, we would buy the whole program and the land. And let the people you don't like get out of here. Right? My dad took out his pocket for half a day. But he didn't see a lighter or a cigarette case. So he failed to be cool. Because the recording program cannot smoke. So on the way here, I threw his two-piece suit. I'm numb. Let's be a plastic father and daughter for a while. When the commercial interruption came back, the live room was peaceful again. It was as if the images of Pot YN and I disliking each other just now didn't exist. Pot YN is now peeling an orange for her mom. Even removing the white part of the orange. Well. Broken ad, you managed to piss me off and that's all you want to do to get my attention? Oh. If it wasn't for our brother endorsing the bread, I'd be cursing you high and low. Sure, this isn't a script. If not, please just fight, ha. A BRNA. Why don't you have an orange too? This one is quite sweet. Nastya took one and handed it to me. To be honest, I don't like oranges. It's a pain in the ass. My dad also knows this and takes the orange. Thanks, Ro. I'll take it. Nastya was baffled and saw my dad peeling the orange while handing me the flesh. Looking at the shocked look on everyone's face, my heart went cold. Great. One step closer to retirement. I hurriedly grabbed the orange in my dad's hand. Dad. You worked hard. You eat. My dad was flattered. Although this is his peeled orange. From my hand again after handing him. His face folds are going to smile out. My dad let out a loud ouch, startling the crowd. He swallowed the orange in one gulp. Yum? Yum. Pot YN laughed out loud. ABRNA. Let's just be real in this show. We don't need to act so exaggerated. Do you think you are some rich young lady? Isn't it normal to peel oranges in a normal family like ours? After Pot YN finished speaking, she and her mom started the scene of peeling oranges for each other. And that's not fake? The corners of my mouth twitched and the pop-up swiped. Is this a competition to see who's more pompous with who? It's so embarrassing. Pot YN is so sweet. Unlike KBRNA, who is so obviously faking it. Where did Pot YN get so many little maids to mindlessly defend? Laughing my ass off. It's not popular to tear people down anymore these days. I think KBRNA and her dad are quite festive anyway. The crew quickly handed us our first task. To do farm work in exchange for food. Which was our dinner for the day. The four of us were divided into two groups. And unfortunately an opportunistic. Pot YN and I were in the same group. She's a big fan then. Having deliberately changed into a sweatsuit to make it easier to work later. She helped her mom down the slope. Mom. The road is slippery in the rain. And there is still moss here. So you have to watch your step. I followed her example, and was ready to remind my dad. But my dad's mouth was much faster than mine. Daughter. Why don't you stay in the house? I've done all the work for you. What do you want to eat tonight? When he was done, Pot YN looked at me in disbelief. As if I had done something terrible. I'll go with you. I thought about it and said, BRNA. You're doing the right thing. Pot YN was so happy. She can really act. She deserves this award. My dad frowned. Oh. My daughter. You don't have to worry about anything else. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Dad sees you suffocating to death like this. I snapped and smiled. Dad. I don't have. And I don't know what ingredients are. Go and see to know what I want to eat. Pot YN along with her mom were looking at the two of us speechless lie. We both ran along furiously and they walked cautiously behind us. Kind of want to cry what's going on. ABRNA's family is so real. I'm usually just at home doing nothing. I envy Pot YN for being so dutiful. But the ABRNAs are so much more relevant. This group is really two extremes. I'm afraid all the people upstairs aren't paid by ABRNA. Are they? Normal people should like Pot YN. The pop-ups are so loud. They've put the show on the hot seat. Including my name and Pot YN's. It's normal for her to be on the hotspot. But what's the concept of me being on the hotspot? I saw the hot search push on my phone, and got a whole lot excited. Since I'm retiring, I might as well do something big, before I leave. The first farm family's request was simple. Let's just grab the hens scattered around the yard and put them in cages. My dad got on it, and just shoved a chicken into the cage. Instead, Pot YN cringed and yelped every now and then. These are alive. It's horrible. Pot YN's mom got anxious, and pushed her away, and went up to grab the chicken. Pot YN. Don't stare. Catch the chicken with mom. Didn't you like stewed mushrooms with chickens the most before? The woman, who looked so noble and elegant, seemed to have come to her own area of expertise, and rolled up her sleeves to grab it. Pot YN was startled and yelled, Mom. Pot YN's mom stopped moving, and hurriedly lowered her sleeve as if she was scared by Pot YN's eyes. Pot YN. Although mommy is also scared. But seeing that you are scared, Mommy definitely wants to protect you. Pot Yn blushed a little better. She held her mom's hand. Mom. I'd rather not eat at night than let you be scared. I really wanted to give them a round of applause. Pot Yn's next sentence made me want to punch her. Catching chickens. Let a be amazed ad do it. There are a lot of chicken catchers in the countryside. They must be good at it. A be RNA. She and her dad are quite good. They will definitely share some food with us. Her mom also nodded. Yes, we mother and daughter don't eat much. Me. I've never seen anyone put chutzpah so matter-of-factly. My family has been rich since my grandpa's generation. But my grandpa said something about not forgetting your roots in order to train my dad. So there's still a big vegetable garden and farm in the old mansion. Even though my dad was busy at work, he would take time out every month to go and work with my grandfather on the farm. But being able to do it is not the same thing as giving everything to my dad. Pa Yn. You wait here with Auntie. I'm going to help my dad catch the chickens. And I'll share half of the food with you. I smiled as I finished my sentence and ran over to my dad. Catching chickens? No way. It's more like messing up. I ran at the chickens with my teeth and claws open, scaring the hens into a frenzy. There were also the ones that were halfway through laying eggs and just clipped and ran away. And the yard was full of the commotion of chickens flying and squawking. Pot Yn yells and screams, trying to run out. I hurriedly closed the door. Pot Yn. You keep the door. Do not open the door and let the chickens out. Pot Yn's face turned white with fear. Abrna. You did it on purpose. Didn't you? Pot Yn. How can you think of me like this? If I don't catch the chicken, what are we going to eat tonight? I blinked innocently and then chased after the strongest hen just like that. Daughter. You are awesome. My dad gave a happy thumbs up. He even bragged to the cameraman, who was forced to shiver in the flock of chickens. See. My daughter's first time catching a chicken. Isn't it great? Awesome. Ha 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 thea ha. I'm laughing my ass off. Adbirna's dad is so proud of him. He feels like he has a daughter who is growing up. Adbirna did it on purpose. It's so fake. Isn't it? My heart goes out to Pot Yn. Uhu h. 6. This story tells us there is no free lunch. Pot Yn is so pretty and delicate. How can she catch a chicken? The show is just tricky. Pot Yn's little maid is at it again. In the end, Pot Yn gets a head full of chicken feathers as well as the smell and leaves the yard in a huff. Luckily the quest was completed in exchange for a well-treated hen. And my dad and I walked slowly, admiring the day's haul. After 2 more tasks in a row, we headed back to the place we were staying to meet up with the other 2 groups. There was no shortage of tear-jerking during the meal. The crew started interviewing the 4 parents, asking them about the most enjoyable thing they've done recently. Pot Yn's mom. Our Pot Yn was recently cast as the lead actress in a new movie by director Fu. And she really acted well. So you should definitely go see it. Oh, it turns out that this link is for Pot Yn to promote her new drama. Thank you mom for helping me. Actually my mom is also my fan. Pot Yn covered her mouth and laughed. I also giggled. I'm sorry. I'm really loaded. Pot Yn resisted the urge to roll her eyes and continued. Abrna. It's your dad's turn. I don't know what's the thing that makes Uncle happy these days. Look at the happy smile on Uncle's face. That's right. The joy on my dad's face was suppressed. Daughter turned back to the shore. Finally going to inherit my $10 billion family fortune. The netizens were suddenly silent. And the next moment the pop-up screen exploded. Good guy. Almost believed. Tens of billions of family property is at least a group boss. Right? The boss will catch the chicken will pick vegetables? When did the program script become so brainless? I'm laughing my ass off. It's so embarrassing. Are you out of laughs? It's hard to create one. Hard on Uncle. My eyebrows suddenly jumped and I looked at everyone in horror. Just afraid that they'll start to doubt my identity. Or that the next second Pot YN is going to call me Missy. But reality is often the opposite. A BRNA. Your dad's joke is so not funny. So aren't you one of those Missy Brave showbiz types? Uncle. What about your family's fortune? Just make some hole for a BRNA to bring money into the group. And now it's not this curiosity. Oops. I'm telling the truth again. Pot YN's smile suddenly tightened and she looked at me in fear. The corner of my mouth twitched. That's right. If I were Missy and you talked like that, you would have gotten 2 big mouths from me. My words fell. Nastya and my dad both puffed and laughed out. In the way of the live broadcast. Nastya was able to hold back. ABRNA. You're so funny. I raised my eyebrows. Pot YN bristled. ABRNA. I feel like you're taking it a little personally. Did I upset you in some way? We'll all be friends from now on. If there's anything unpleasant you can just say it. She looked aggrieved. Then sniffled strongly. If you mind just now. I'm really just kidding. My agent always said I have low IQ. Don't mind. I hurriedly waved my hand. I don't mind. I don't have emotional intelligence at all. Good 6 answer. I actually have no words to refute. For a moment I don't know whose fault it is. Holding my forehead. Crying and laughing. A BRNA you cannot say. Immediately people's little maids can round you with spittle. Pot YN smiled awkwardly and took a sip of soup to ease her embarrassment. The next morning, when we woke up from our sleep to gather in the living room, we suddenly received a message from the program. Your mom or dad was captured by the time monster last night. And if you want to rescue them, you need to complete 3 challenges. And only the first one to be rescued doesn't need to be punished. Now let's go to the first level. The program team showed us the surveillance of mom and dad being tied up to create a tense atmosphere. So that the 4 of us rushed to the first level. It's a show of fact. We all have to go along with it. But what the hell is going straight up the rock climbing? 20 meters high. Even with a safety latch. It's still scary. Mom, wait. I'll save you. Pot YN cries and cheers to the camera. And next to her, I silently climbed upwards. Pot YN's fans were impatient. Pot YN, don't cry. We still have to save mom. Pot YN. My heart goes out to you. I'm heartbroken. I'm laughing my ass off. It's hilarious. For example, Pot YN in the front looks like she's going to war. And ABRNA in the back is climbing up the stairs without saying a word. No comparison. No harm. Pot YN won't be the control group. Right? By the time Pot YN finishes building her persona and catches up, I've already reached the top. I looked down and saw that with her speed as well as her proficiency, she was definitely practiced. It's a good thing that the gold master behind the program didn't put in a lot of effort to build Pot YN's persona and gave her special training. After the first level, you can go straight to the next level. And all we have to do is to fight for speed. Pot YN and I arrived at the second level one after the other. And this level was actually a soap and water slide. It was a soap and water slide. Especially with my shoes and socks off. I couldn't go up the slide at all. And the only thing I had to rely on was the hemp rope in the center. Halfway up, Pot YN pulls me down and we both collide. Dropping our mics. A BRNA. You're just a control group. Why are you fighting so hard? Just get out of the way. All you need to do is set me off. Pot YN lowered her volume and threatened. Those 3 words stung my nerves repeatedly. It's so hard to have a hot variety show come and ask me to be in it. But it's a stepping stone. I'll quit tomorrow. What do you care? I kicked her in the waist. It's a way of paying her back for the pickpocket she just gave me. Damn. It's so explosive. I'm just asking you to do it. But I'm not asking you to do it. 6. The most realistic variety show ever. My poor Pot YN. A BRNA. You murderer. Pot YN is in a death grip on my arm. Her manicure is almost sinking into my flesh. You're going to continue this circle tomorrow and I'll give you a taste of what it means to be on the receiving end. I've been putting up with you for a long time. If you want to be shut down, just say so. This circle. I can totally teach you to behave. Pot YN is so gentle and soft on the outside. No one can tell what kind of person she is except for the force with which she's choking my arm to death. Then let's see if you have the ability. I sneered. After the staff came to bring us mics, I took advantage of this opening to hurry up and climb up. I didn't expect that for the third level. The program team actually came up with another trick. Replacing the boat with a paper boat. Although the boat was briefly waterproof and accompanied by a lifeboat. Pot YN. The time bomb. Always gives you surprises. As soon as I got on the boat, she was right behind me. A BRNA. Let's go with what we've got. She's got a lot of energy. I have to give her a thumbs up. Are you sure this is the soft beauty the fans make her out to be? She can do all three of us. I just tried to paddle. But I couldn't move. I looked back. And that crazy woman Pot YN was actually tearing up my boat. Stabbing. Oh, no. It's in the water. A BRNA. It's every man for himself. Pot YN smiles at me and rows fast. Oh yeah. Well. To each his own. Before the lifeboat came, I jumped into the water. I'm sorry. I was on the varsity swimming team. Pot YN rowed as hard as she could. But she was still a step behind me. According to the rules, the other three parents were punished with hard labor. Pot YN was the first to cry. Mom, it's all my fault. I didn't succeed in saving you. Good daughter. You've been very good. Mom can see that. The two of them put on another mother-daughter show. Just at this time, the program team spoke. I forgot to tell all the guests. The whole process we are live streaming for the moms and dads to see. And they have a lot of things they want to say to you at this moment. The point is, Pot YN's mom is out. Why isn't my dad here yet? Come here. I looked at my head openly and saw a middle-aged man, not far away, wiping tears from his eyes while dashing to look at the daughter. You've touched dad so much. Wuodo ewo wiodo owiodo oweodoe. Why are you working so hard? I'm still young. I can still work hard for a few more years. And our family doesn't need your money. So it's okay for me to suffer a little. I almost bought the program just now. But I can't let my precious daughter get hurt. My dad choked back a laugh and said. The pompous look made the other three manage to stop talking, all looking at us. A BRNA ad. You're exaggerating too. Just watching the kids compete backstage. The pomp and circumstance scared me. Pot Y and her mom laughed falsely. Flavor. I don't know why. I feel that their mother and daughter revealed a copy and paste green tea. Pot YN looked at me contemptuously. ABRNA. Even if you set up your own persona, there's no need to embarrass tired? Uncle? He's in his 40s and 50s and still has to act in front of the camera. Don't you think it's too much? It's hard enough for mom and dad to give birth to us. But you don't want to give them a good life. But you want to force them to come out and make money for you. I didn't want to say anything. But what you're doing is outrageous. Pot YN says it so vividly, making it sound like it's really happening. I frowned. Have you always thought my family was poor? I was afraid of hurting your pride. But now I see that it was completely unnecessary. Pot YN gave me a blank look. I hope you'll stop. Pot YN gave me a blank look. I hope you'll stop. I laughed. Oh. I was afraid of hurting your pride by saying it. But now I see that it's not necessary at all. Your cheek is thicker than my house wall is also outrageous. Don't pull step on me again to establish your own persona. The money you make is not enough to build a toilet for my house. I can't compete with you in terms of popularity. But if you compete with me in terms of money, I'll smash you to death with money. Who doesn't have a temper these days? Anyway, I'm about to quit the circle. So I'll go crazy. Pot YN covered her mouth and burst out laughing. Now I can be sure. What Uncle said about the $10 billion family fortune. It's all taught by you. Right? I've read too many romance novels. And I can only fool simple migrant workers like my uncle. My dad was also infuriated and dumbfounded. He scratched his hair. Little girl. You do not go too far. Pa-Yen let out an ouch. She softly said, Uncle. I know you feel sorry for Abrna. But it's too much for her to be like this. Now that the internet is so developed, everything can be humanized. I am afraid that she will be scolded by the black fans and get depressed. And when something really happens, it will be too late. You still look like you're thinking about me and my dad. Why are you talking so viciously? You girl doll? My dad glared at her. But Pa-Yen still doesn't realize the seriousness of the matter. Oh no. Her biggest problem is too much of a gold master behind her and she can walk across the showbiz? Arrogant. I scoffed. Fine. I'm afraid your fans are dying to flesh out my identity. So I won't be able to play well. I can't even play well. Abrna. You're so funny. Pa-Yen let out a giggle, covering her mouth and shaking her head. The whole thing seemed like it was hopeless. The pop-ups exploded. So crazy Abrna. She has money to get mixed up like this? Ah. Secretary. Check for me. I want to know if Abrna is a chicken or a phoenix. If she's a golden girl. I lit the screen. Going on break. Because there was so much controversy at one time. The program put the broadcast on hold and told us to go back to our respective business again until it was time for the evening meal. Families. Checking for hours. Nothing. If you can't find anything, it must be a lie. Do you really believe Abrna's bluff? You're all so busy. You're all just kidding around. Hey, she's really crazy. It's scary. I was kinda liking Abrna. But lying was really unnecessary. What's wrong with migrant workers? I'm still delivering in my 18th. Tonight is my last night on camera. I feel nothing but sadness in my heart. I've been working for so many years. And I can't even make a wave. The meal was quite peaceful. Mainly because Pa-Yen didn't show up for something. I ate a few bites and was not in the mood. Excusing the restroom and going out to get some air. Why was there a saucy brew in the woods in the middle of the night? People. I blushed and didn't dare to move. I just wanted to leave. But my foot stepped on a branch. And a click startled the woods with a, no way. No way. This damn bridge can also be my turn? I don't think I'm going to kill someone next. Am I? I thought of sneaking out before anyone came out. When I saw the person in the woods quickly getting dressed and running out. It's actually Pa-Yen. I exchanged a death stare with her and she immediately ran over angrily. What did you just see? With that body of yours? You think I care to look at you? I rolled my eyes. Abrna. I think you really don't want to be in the entertainment industry anymore. I advise you to keep your mouth shut. If you dare to leak any information, I will definitely make you lose your. I'll make you lose your reputation. Do you understand? Pa-Yen smiled sadly. As if she can take me down easily. Unfortunately, I don't care about anything in the entertainment industry anymore. I smiled inferently. I'm afraid you can't do it. Hurry up and block me. I can't wait. If you don't block me, I look down on you. I gave a middle finger and was about to leave. But suddenly, Pa-Yen takes a few steps back in shock. Abrna. What were you just doing over there with Mr. Wang? I quietly watched her acting. Abrna. It's still recording the program. It's not good for you. Is it? No wonder you're here for this variety show. But don't worry. I'll keep your secret. I heard the sound of footsteps approaching behind me. And when I turned around, I saw the crowd. Or rather everyone was walking this way one after another. And the one thing they all had in common was that they all heard Pa-Yen's words. The entertainment industry was chaotic. And although the people from the program knew the inside story but wouldn't speak out to explain anything, especially since it was still live, and netizens must have heard it. What are you rumor mongering about? My dad chided. and came forward. Pot Yen waved his hands in aggravation. I didn't. Uncle. There's nothing going on. Let's all go back. I didn't expect things to be so chaotic. It's horrible. It's still the safest place to powder our Pot Yen. Pot Yen, don't be afraid. We support you. My daughter just came out to use the restroom. If you're stumped and have something to say, explain it clearly. A girl's reputation is most important. My dad waved his hand impatiently. When Pot Yen saw that my dad didn't listen to her, she sneered and said politely, Uncle. A BRNA actually lied to you about going to the toilet. I just passed by here and saw something bad. You'd better not know about it. What did you see? Saw me find out that you and that what the general adultery. I ate and pretended to be confused. Pot Yen's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness. A BRNA. How can you still turn black and white? I've said I'll help you keep your secret. Why are you putting this on my head? It's a bit unreasonable. Isn't it? Just then, the old man whom Pot Yen addressed as Mr. Wang walked out trembling. Apparently he had drunk a lot of wine and couldn't even walk steadily. The people from the program hurriedly sent someone to support him, fearing that he would fall. Long jar. My dad's voice was dull enough to resonate throughout the courtyard. The old man quickly sobered up a bit when he heard my dad's voice. Lotarius. What brings you here? Lotarius. It's really too much of a coincidence that we can meet here. Hiccup. Today I'll be the host. The old man smiled. Please invite Lotarius to play a few games. Many of the people here knew his identity. And those who could be treated politely by him must not be simple characters. We are all human beings who want to get things over with quickly. Do you know my daughter? My dad pointed at me. The old man stared at me carefully and hurriedly shook his head. How can that be? Your daughter is so young and pretty. Is she going to be in the entertainment industry? I can help make some connections. Lotarius. I'm so happy to see you today. I've made several trips to your company without seeing you. The old man burps again. Pot Yen couldn't listen anymore. She hurriedly smiled and rounded up the situation. Mr. Wang drank too much. Director. Why don't we skip it first? Not allowed to turn off. My dad immediately stopped it. I'm still present today. If I'm not there, how do you plan to bully my daughter? You know you're all public figures. My dad got really angry. When he got angry, the old man's drunkenness woke up a bit more. Right. No shutting down. Whatever Lotarius says. Oh, my God. This is the biggest showbiz story of all time. If ABRNA's dad's so good, what does she need to do with the money man? It was a bit of a mess. But did you guys see the bruise on ABRNA's arm? Did Pot Yen pinch her this afternoon? Holy shit. With this, it's a real thriller. Mr. Wang. There's nothing going on. It's just a misunderstanding. Hurry back to rest. Right? Pot Yen softly smiled. But the smile on her face could no longer hang. The old man frowned with a stern face, in front of Lotarius. Where are you allowed to speak? Pot Yen looked at me and my dad in embarrassment. A BRNA. What kind of rich person's identity are you doing? As soon as she spoke, she was shoved by the old man. What impersonation? This is Sun Minyu, the founder of Yu Group. Xiao Zhang. I usually see you as a smart guy. Why are you being a jerk now? The familiar words of the two men. The crowd, even if they were fools, could see that something was wrong. Mom, I've got it. I've got it. Who can think of Yu Group? I'm crying my eyes out. Sun Minyu, the founder of Yu Group. The Sun family does have a big miss. Holy shit. Holy shit. I am looking at the big miss working. Pot Yen. Why are the little maids silent? Come out and continue barking in front of Missy. Missy endured really hard. I want to have this identity. Pot Yen forced yesterday. I went up to the two mouths. Pot Yen. What did you just say? That I was doing it in the woods with Mr. Wang? You want to keep my secret? Am I blind or is my dad broke? I frowned and recalled in detail. Wan's cylinder face went white. He shook his head in panic. Lauterius. I really drank too much wine. Zhao Zhang does not know how to do things. She is my recognized godraider. Lauterius do not general knowledge. Girl. You're messing with a hard case. I said what I said earlier. The fake is definitely fake. Cannot be real. No money, you really can't afford to do persona. Besides, I'm good enough for you. As an investor. I've given you more resources and more shots. Wan's cylinder now finished his words. His words have just fallen. Pot Yan's mom rushed up with her teeth and claws. Get lost. Get lost. The crowd was baffled. Isn't her mom a rich noblewoman? How did she become so impulsive? Mom, shut up. Can you stop messing me up? You are trying to ruin me. Pot Yan's face was red and white with anger. Pot Yan's mom was completely out of pretense and pissed off. Damn girl. Who are you talking to? If I didn't want to help your career, would I have come here? These clothes are so tight. They're going to strangle your mom. Shut up. Pot Yan broke down and screamed. She can't take it out on me, and my dad now. So she can only be mad at her own people. She had the pleasure of slapping her mom twice. And then she couldn't leave when she saw her mom running away. She's been talking about ABRNA for 2 days. And all she's done is talk about herself. I thought it was normal for her to be a little melodramatic. But now she's acting out and making fun of the real Missy? I'm speechless. I can only say, this script if the program arranged. Really 6. Pot Yan's in a bad way. She's the control group for ABRNA's rise to fame. A BRNA. Are you satisfied now? What's the point of teasing me like this? Pot Yan is crying like she's a victim. Shut down the live broadcast. I'm retiring from the show tomorrow as well. When my words fell, the program team immediately did as they were told. Not for any other reason. I am more bullish than their gold master status. My dad also didn't squeak and stood silently by the side to back me up. A BRNA. Your reputation will skyrocket after tomorrow. Isn't it ridiculous for you to tell me now that you're retiring from the show? Pot Yan sneers and laughs. I laughed softly. I told you that in the beginning. Didn't I? But you didn't listen and did whatever it took for the benefit of your reputation. Knowing that I was your control group. You went crazy and trampled on me and my dad. What did we say? But you have no bottom line. A girl's innocence is important. I turned off the live broadcast to save your face. It's up to you if you don't want to give your face. Just for the fact that you threatened to block me during the recording. I could have screwed you right away. Unfortunately, you're too good at pretending. So of course I'm going to cooperate with you. And it's really a shame if I don't let you taste what it means to be one heavenly and one earthly difference. After I finished, I gave Pot Yan to slaps. No one dared to say anything. Not to mention that her mom, the only one here who was related to Pot Yan by blood, was still pissed off at her, expecting that old man called Mr. Wang? Even more impossible. A BRNA. What do you know? You were born with everything. How can you understand how hard it is for a minor character like us to work our way up the ladder? You're in no position to judge me. Pot Yan wipes away her tears and looks at me indignantly. I laughed. Pot Yan. The most ridiculous thing about you is that you're arrogant. Don't kidnap me with your morals. I don't have any. If not for the fact that I've also worked my way up from small roles for so many years, I really would have been moved by your words. Your words are simply discrediting small roles. Their efforts are to stand under the camera to be seen by the audience. To be liked by the fans. It is the hope that their efforts will be rewarded is the love of this career. But they will never harm others or themselves. Integrity is a person's first heart. Pot Yan blanches and doesn't continue her rant. The crowd dispersed. Because of this drama, Variety ended the recording early. And while my Missy's identity was exposed, she also gained a large number of fans. This sister is actually a varsity swimmer. She can also climb rocks, archery and horseback riding. She can also act. She can also sing and dance. And she is also so beautiful and rich. God. This kind of character also lies in our small character world. Family. I have the video from that day shut down. I'll give it to you for free on the button one. POTYN is completely banned and all the hot searches about her are gone. She's not short of money. She can take her mom and move on with her life. But none of that has anything to do with me. Instead, it's me. Looking at the account's many followers and the wave of traffic. I'm even more depressed. My dad handed over a cup of tea and shouted at me to sit down and have a chat. I sighed. Dad. I promised you I would do it. My dad laughed so hard that the crow's feet at the corners of his eyes were coming out. Dad, in the past 2 days browsed your posting. Saw the fans who like you for a long time to leave a message. Really quite difficult. And what you said the other day. That's right. Small roles have small roles to shine. When your grandfather also came from small roles to fight little by little. We have to be more loving. You understand. Dad is really touched. I should not impose what I thought was best for you. The big deal is that in the future you find a son-in-law. I'll leave my career to him to take care of. If you like acting, go ahead. Dad supports you and won't stop you. He took a sip of tea and drank it to let go of me. I smiled and nodded. Life is only a few years. Before one is completely powerless. Sticking to what one loves. How can it not be a sweet and sour happiness?